Oh, hey, didn't see you there. So today is a really big day. First of all, it's the vice presidential debate because everyone watches that. Second of all, it's Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday. And third and most importantly, it's Palauan Independence Day. And not just any Independence Day, it's their 30th Independence Day. This is a huge day for this channel. It's been nearly 7 years now since I started an inside joke on this channel about the Republic of Palau, a very small country of only 20,000 people in the Pacific Ocean. It's one of the newest countries in the world, as I mentioned. October 1st, 1994 is when it became independent from the United States. And every year I try to make a video about it. In 2018, I talked about the entire history of Palau as if it were a shitty crash course video. In 2020, I talked about the upcoming Palauan presidential election. In 2021, I answered questions related to Palau. And in 2022, I lectured my then girlfriend about Palau until she fell asleep and then broke up with me afterwards. But that was off camera. So sad. And I think that I'm obliged now in 2024 to talk about their next presidential election. Now, Palau in many ways is basically, what if we made the United States a small town on a remote island? Because every single thing is almost exactly the same. Their presidential elections are almost always held the same day as ours, with the exception of if ours falls on November 8th. They keep it simple and they do the first Tuesday in November, like a regular country would. They divide themselves into states with governors. They have a Senate, a House of Representatives. I mean, just look at their capital, man. And they have a 2-term limit on the presidency with one major difference, which is that unlike the United States, it's not a lifetime term limit. In this case, the president is re-eligible after 4 years. And why does that matter? The reason I explain that is because that seems like arbitrary almost. This presidential election will be the second time in Palau's very short history that that clause will be relevant. The incumbent president who won the 2020 election is named Surangel Whips Jr. And he's running for re-election, but he's facing Tommy Ramangasaw Jr. I've mentioned Tommy Ramangasaw in many of my videos, again, going back 7 years. But basically, what seems to happen in Palau is he serves 2 terms and then leaves for 1, and then wins 2 more terms and then leaves for 1. And then, you know, looks like we're about to see it happen again. It's why I say the term limit seems arbitrary, because this would be Tommy Ramangasaw's 5th term in office. Palauan politics are funny because, as I mentioned, it's just like if the US were a small town on an island. Everyone's related and it's always the same people running. To give you an idea, this is a rematch of the 2016 presidential election where Whips challenged Ramangasaw and narrowly lost. And then the 2020 election was Whips who ended up winning. It was his 2nd time running. It was Reynold Olak who was Ramangasaw's vice president, and then it was Johnson Torrebyong, another former president, who had the same thing as Whips is probably gonna have, where he won when Ramangasaw was term limited and then just lost to Ramangasaw 4 years later. Oh, and by the way, Reynold Olak is running again for vice president. So it would be the same president and VP as it was from 2017 to 2021. Although, another big difference is the vice presidential election is held separately. So it could be Whips's vice president wins re-election, but then Whips doesn't. Not that it matters though, because there's no political parties. Everyone's friends, everyone's family. I haven't mentioned this yet, but Whips is literally Tommy Ramangasaw's brother-in-law. So this is the 2nd election in 8 years that's been a guy running against his wife's brother. What an awkward Thanksgiving dinner that's gotta be. And Ramangasaw can literally just keep doing this forever because he's only 17 years old. Fun fact. Okay, fine. He was born on February 29th, so he's actually 68 years old. But I think he's got 2 more and then another 2 more after that in him. There's no polling in this race, but I remember talking to a Palauan sometime in 2022, long before Ramangasaw had announced he was running for re-election. And they were just like, yeah, Ramangasaw is gonna win. He's gonna run and he's gonna win. I don't know, it's like a few families. It's so small that everyone kind of knows what's up before we Americans get a sense of what's going on. Not me though. Luckily, I have many connections on the islands, so I still don't have enough of a connection to get free tickets. That's why I've mentioned Tommy Ramangasaw in my videos for 7 years, because when he was president, I would lobby for him to give me free tickets. I think I would do a great job promoting the country. The flag is in the background of like half of my videos. I gotta be like the only American who has multiple photos with the Palauan flag. Like, this is honestly uncanny. I gotta go there. And I said in a video in December 2019, someone asked, when are you going to Palau? And I said, stay tuned sometime in the 2020s. It's been almost half of the 2020s already. It's like $3,000 one way because you gotta stop in LAX, and then you gotta stop in Guam, and then any flights in the Pacific Islands are, even that leg alone is like $1,500 one way. My points on United won't get me that far. far. Just like 4 years ago, I'm gonna make my prediction, which is that Tommy Remengesau will indeed win and return for a 5th term in office. And I will also be endorsing Tommy Remengesau, only because I reached out to Sir Ingle Whips Jr. 2 weeks after he took office to see if I could get an interview, and he just left me on red. He just didn't say anything. At least my ex-situationship can do like a pity thumbs up to my message, but I couldn't even get that. I'm just joshing, by the way. There have been a few times where Palauans in my comments don't understand the sarcasm. Like one time I claimed that I was famous in Palau, and a few of them took issue with that. So I'm just joking, by the way. I endorsed Sir Ingle Whips Jr. in the last election. You can go watch my video. It's linked in the description. I butchered everyone's names even worse than I did this time. So, or maybe, I actually don't even know. So if you're a Palauan, comment down below. Happy Independence Day. I promise I'll be visiting before Palau's 35th Independence Day. We're gonna get there eventually, even if I have to fucking swim. Go for it. Start walking this way.